Hey, it's me, Silver the Wag, and it's Tuesday. How's it going? Hope your Monday was good. And just to get that out of the way, I am not from Germany. I don't know what gave that impression. Maybe the fact that I do speak a bit of German. And I may have spoken it at some point, and I did show the Bruder Grimm uh, compilation, but I am not from Germany. I'm sorry if that's disappointing, but I really am not from Germany. I studied German for 3 years, and it was even one of my options when I wanted to do the exchange program. But I ended up not going to German to Germany, uh, which in hindsight I think I should have put that as my first option. But I was just kind of afraid, so I chose the safest option, which was the Iberian Peninsula, which is where I live. At the moment, I used to live in the UK. That's why my accent is all over the place, and you can't really pinpoint it. Just can kind of tell that it's foreign. Uh, I mean, I guess I see where thinking that I'm from Germany comes from. Like, I look very Middle Eastern. Uh, yeah. And if I was profiled at a certain time in history, I wouldn't have survived, probably. Uh, like, for my brother, for example, you see this color, this pasty white color. That was an anomaly. My brother came out very tanned. Um, and with features that place him directly in either Northern Africa, Middle East, Mediterranean. Like, yeah, I also look Mediterranean, I suppose, since that was always the guesses of the people in the UK, especially. They never guessed exactly where I was from, but since I speak most of the Romance languages, it was easy to just call them out of their name, which was an expression I heard maybe 2 days ago, yesterday? 2 days ago. Not sure. Which I think means insulting someone. And I was like, yeah, that's a good way to put it, calling someone out of their name. That's nice. Yeah, I am a bit upset. Not enough to make the paranoia real. but uh, yeah, I'll get into that. I'll I'll remember that one. But yeah, yesterday I posted a vlog. I don't know if it actually posted because I didn't really check if it was working properly, which is something that I should have done since I edited it, which we know is not my forte. Um, since I was filming with my phone. But it was basically a vlog about the blackout in the Iberian Peninsula, which is where I am. They say that they don't know exactly what caused it, but the Reuters, the news outlet, said that it had been a rare atmospheric phenomenon which damaged some power lines or something. I don't know exactly. They don't know exactly what it was. I think that's what they mean when they say they don't know exactly what it was. Because it was something that had never really happened, I don't think. Maybe that's why they say they don't know what it was. The point is that it started in the south of France. It affected areas in the south of France and blacked out the entirety of Spain and Portugal. And yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, I think that was it. That was probably just those were the affected regions. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't hear about any other places. I did hear though that it affected German and the UK and also Italy, but not in the way that people might think. Like at first, when the news broke out, everyone was like, "Oh, it has been a cyber attack. Oh, it was this and that and the other." But then they realized no, that it just affected the south of France, Spain, and Portugal because it affected some power lines, and since everything is connected now, and those were important power lines, it just blacked out the entire peninsula. The first place to go back to normal was France, obviously, which got the power back I think at around 3-ish p.m. But around the time I filmed the first clip of the video that I posted yesterday, which was when I heard the person responsible for contemplation. It was probably contemplating a lot of things, but he was contemplating. He was talking about the works being done to restore the power. Right. And he said that they were confident that within 10 hours the power would be fully restored in the entire peninsula. And we did the maths and thought, so 10 p.m. 10 p.m. That's his estimation. 10 p.m. Around 10 p.m. power will be back. This man, chef's kiss, because yeah, it was exactly at 10 p.m. that power returned. to where I am. And yeah, they were prioritizing fixing things in. Sorry. Ah, what's this? What's going on? Uh, just a bunch of random emails. Anyway, um, mm, good coffee. Yeah, so the power outage started at around 11:30. Uh, and it lasted until 10 p.m. Everyone was going doomsday prophet mode. It was insane. It was wild. And then the prime minister came and said, "Oh yes, the people's calm and serene demeanor was praiseworthy." And I've been listening to the radio transmission, which was going on the whole day. Uh, yeah, people weren't calm and serene at all. Not even in the rural nowhere where I live. They were going insano style and saying that it would last 3 days, that it'd been an attack, that God knows what else. And I was just like, if it was a cyber attack, they'll find the source and restore it. If it had been a fire, a hacking situation, it would have been a lot easier to fix. But it wasn't. They don't know exactly what kind of phenomenon it was. But when they said that it started from in the south of France with some extremely important power lines, and there'd been a fire or something, and then someone from Reuters said that it'd been a rare atmospheric phenomenon. I was like, yeah, that makes sense, and that would explain why it's so hard to put it back together and fix it. Quickly. And then when they started restoring everything, they were saying that, yeah, the priorities were the cities with important hospitals, and then everywhere else. And yeah, I live everywhere else. So that's what happened basically. But it was kind of funny because everyone was just like, oh, this, that, and the other, blah blah blah. Everyone was already hoarding toilet paper. Everyone was hoarding bottles of water and non-perishables, which is fine. I mean, yeah, by all means, you never know. We were just bored. We can't really go out of our way to stock up on non-perishables and just have them lying around. That's, yeah, not a feasible thing for someone, for a household that doesn't have that kind of income at the moment. Like, yeah, I'm job hunting. It's hard because I live in the countryside and housing is impossible. And yeah, it's not my entire personality. I would like to say that. And please believe that that being neurodivergent is not my entire personality. It's not all I am. And it kind of hurts to think that people misunderstand that when I say that. It's just to explain it, and I'm not even doing anything like that would warrant an excuse for anything, or like an apology, like me sitting here and apologizing for whatever. That's the bit where I wanted to get. I didn't forget. Yeah, blackout out of the way. But yeah, people were going crazy even even in the rural countryside where nothing ever happens, and most people were just chilling. When I went to the shop in my village, there's only one. The owner was completely chill. Some people didn't have money, cash, like since most people these days just have money in the bank, which yeah makes sense, I guess. Though there have been some. Oh gosh, what the hell is happening? Leave me alone. Ugh, I'm saying leave me alone because it's just random spam publicity. And it's not even in a email form, it's a text message form, and yeah, I can't really report that as spam because they might want to contact me, and they use the same channels to do that. So, and now I lost track of what I was saying. Rural countryside. Yeah. Boss at the local shop. The single shop in the village. And when I say the mountains, there are mountains in the Iberian Peninsula as well. I know that there are probably more in Germany. I'm not entirely sure about the geography of Germany, which is a flaw on my part, and a flaw on my degree overall. Because, I mean, yeah, they could have mentioned that. But there are probably mountains in Germany. But there are probably mountains in Germany. There are mountains in Germany for sure. Yodeling. Though I'm not sure if that's from Switzerland or what. I mean, yeah, when I think about that area, yeah, it'll just becomes kind of jumbled since they all speak dialects of like this thing called German. And Germany has many dialects. Most of them are mutually intelligible. And this is a tangent. Yeah, I'm just going in circles. I'm sorry about that. Oh god, I'm sorry about that. I don't want. Yeah, okay. We're fine. I had one German professor at university who was from Berlin, if I'm not wrong, Berlin. And she said that when she went to Switzerland, she chose to speak in Italian because she didn't understand their German. And I was like, good golly, Miss Molly. Ooh, that's crazy. And then this absolute maniac played some audios of Swiss people from Switzerland. I need to remember the other story. Let me take a note since I lose track of what I'm saying so quickly. I should take notes of what I'm saying. And then and now you got to see me with my resting face. I'm sorry. This is how I look normally. If I'm not talking to anyone, I'll just go like this. It's not exactly RBD, like RBD. It's more like RDD, resting demon face. I have been told that I look scary, not because I look like a B word, but because of my thick eyebrows and very dark eyes. I don't think you understand how dark my eyes are, but I'll try to show it. Like, even with the light. Yeah, they just turn a dark shade of red. And now I just blinded myself. I did not blind myself. There's a name for that. I don't remember what it is. In any language. Yeah, it's the thing that happens when light blasts in your eyes and you start seeing dots. Yeah, I've been told that I look scary because my resting face is just this. But I have easy smile, and an easy smile if you want to call it that, or rather I'll call it that because I don't know what else to call it. What I mean is that I smile easily, mostly out of stress, but also because I find things amusing often. And that's how I made friends at university, because at first everyone was scared of me and they didn't really approach me until one day someone who is still my friend to this day sat beside me in one of our classes because there was no other seat available, and she kept cracking jokes under her breath, and I started laughing, like juggling, like and she was like, And after that class, when we were sitting to have German, we're going back to German. Uh, she approached me again, like carefully, with the group of friends that she'd cultivated already, and they started talking to me. And yeah, I not a mysterious anime character. When they started speaking to me, I spoke back to them normally. I just, yeah, and I was smiling and laughing at the jokes that they were telling. And I guess that she must have said that I was actually someone who laughed easily, so they were just seeing for themselves. And yeah, after that, I made friends. That's the story of how I made friends. That was pretty early on. Uh, yeah, it was in the first semester of my modern languages degree, the undergrad. Uh, at the MA, I kept some of my older uh, classmates, but it was kind of a mess. My experience with EMA, because it was kind of a joint thing, but then it could only be published by one of the universities, and then they chose to publish it in English, but in a speaking in a non-English country. Does that make sense? It makes sense. It's just probably not correct English, which is fine. It's not the end of the world, is it? Um, and yeah, I was still talking about. Let me pause. Yeah, I paused because I lost track of what I was saying. If I'm saying this again, I'm sorry. The button, yeah. Uh, I love knitting. I really love knitting. It's just so good. I love the feeling of, you know, using both hands and having a needle in each hand. But I just had to agree when she said that if you drop a stitch, you're basically screwed. Especially if you're a beginner. Like, I'm not exactly a beginner. I am beginner intermediate. But it's true that if you drop a stitch and you don't have a lifeline, yeah, you're basically screwed. Because it's hard to just put the needle back in the stitch, because you don't know exactly where the stitch is, because it gets sucked into the work very quickly. Let me pause and stretch my legs. I'm old. I mean, anyone gets tired after being with crossed legs for so long. Uh, man. Yeah, knitting. The stitches get sucked into the work very fast, and it's hard to know which stitch you were on. So the lifelines are basically just a piece of yarn that you thread into the line you're at, like the row you're at, and they basically serve to prevent having to frog the entire work after dropping a single stitch, after, reaching a length like this. Imagine the How awful. Yeah, that has happened to me. So the lifelines work for that purpose. After you do several rows without making any mistakes, you insert a lifeline, and you know that, yeah, if I mess up, I can frog it to this point. Just put the needle back, or rather, put the needle back, depending on if you're left-handed or right-handed. And you just keep going from there. And you just redo the whole thing, basically. But yeah, with crochet, if you drop a stitch, that's fine. You could just pull it back and start again. Because when you drop a stitch, you can just pick up the loop and redo the whole thing. Because normally it's just 1 or 2 stitches, not entire rows. So yeah, I understood completely where she was coming from. What else? Yeah. Yeah, before I do the breathing exercise, which I think I needed, I will wrap up the story about my exchange that did not happen in Germany or France, but I remember that back in the UK when I was studying at university there, like my friends there, we lived at a hall of residence, right? And one night we were playing games and everyone was kind of out of their minds, to say it lightly. I mean, at least I was. I know one of my friends wasn't, but I was. And we were playing Trivial Pursuit. And one of the questions that my mate asked from the cards was, what do you call a person from France? And I just said, Pierre. And everyone just lost it. And I lost it too, because I realized, even in that state, that what he was asking was, what's a person from France called? A Frenchman, a French woman, a French person. French. But now I just said Pierre. Pierre. I can roll my R's. I said Pierre, and yeah, from then on we just started joking that everyone from France was just Pierre. Pierre 1, Pierre 2, Pierre 3, or rather Pierre 1, Pierre 2, Pierre 3, Pierre 4, Pierre 5. I can go up to 30, 40. Yeah, I don't remember the numbers, but I know that after a while, after a certain number, it just becomes insane. They start doing maths with the numbers, and it's just, why? But yeah, that was a funny story, and I'm glad I noted that one down to relieve my mood. Because someone was commenting on, yeah, I'm going back to that one. the video where the Easter Sunday video where I was showing the old lady dress that I took to church. That was actually given to me by my cousin because she bought it for herself and didn't like the way it looked. Since it was like stretchy fabric, but yeah, she didn't like the way it showed everything since it's such a light color. Everything shows. So I get a lot of things she doesn't want. A lot of her hand-me-downs. A lot of my hand-me-downs rather come from her. Let me finish this. Put that there. Then I'll go and wash it. But the comment was about my bio, which was something that I wrote like a while back when I wasn't thinking too much, or rather I was thinking too much. I guess that's exactly the opposite. I was thinking too much. And like, yeah, no, gender is not my entire personality, and neither are pronouns. Like I said, I live in a country with a very gendered language. Even if I lived in Germany, it would be the case. But no, gender is not my entire personality. Neither are pronouns. God damn it. That was a hiccup. But you know, I am aware that, I mean, even if people look at me and think that I'm not as weird looking or hideous as I feel like I am because of my upbringing and the things that I had to hear growing up, which are things that will never go away. No matter how hard I try, even if somehow I feel more confident in the way I look, yeah, any old comment brings that crashing down. So, and I'm not just saying this to get sympathy or whatever. I'm not fishing for anything. I'm not doing that thing where people be like, no, my insecurities, blah blah blah. No, it's not exactly insecurities. It's just seeing what other people saw, that made them target me for my appearance, my in-between appearance, if you will. That's not the reason why I'm not cis. and being intersex is also not the reason why I'm not cis. Like, a lot of intersex people identify with their assigned gender, and do things to, like, present more like that gender, like what society perceives that gender to be. It's just that in English I don't like to be gendered, because in English it's always a choice to gender someone. Especially if you're talking to that person directly. Like, I don't care what you say behind my back. That's never been the point. Like, what I don't hear doesn't affect me. I think that should be obvious. Like, I don't care about that. I just don't want that to be said to me, like, in English, specifically in English, or in other, like, languages that where gendered language is easily avoidable. Like, for example, Japanese is gender is easily avoidable. So yeah, that bio, I changed it. I hope it doesn't give my whole personality as my gender anymore. Like, yeah, it never was. I just came here and rambled about random things. I talk about random things in life. I talk about crochet. Speaking of which, I was doing this yesterday when the power went off. It's a phone bag. It looks a bit Christmassy. I'm not entirely sure about this button thing that I made, but yeah, I might remove it and look for something else, because yeah, it looks a bit Christmassy. But I was doing this because I want to gift it to someone. Like, I come here and sit and talk about a bunch of things: music, literature, crochet. I drink coffee. I talk about books sometimes. Sometimes I vent. I never get too personal. Like, this is a bit personal, but I've mentioned it before. Like, yeah, someone with my strange appearance was bound to have some, yeah, stories about comments, especially stuff like, what are you? Because as a kid, I mean, I feel like I'm pretty androgynous even now. Even my phone agrees, because it has like a gender recognition thing from the face, and it's always confused when it points at my face, and sometimes it flicks between the two genders that it has. It doesn't have non-binary, obviously, and I am not non-binary. I left that part there. It's just kind of upsetting, man. I'm not going to feed into drama. And I'm choosing to think that there was no bad faith in that comment. But one thing that I want to say is that we never know the people that we see online. And me choosing to put myself out there, as my good therapists said, by turning on the camera and rambling to it, is a way for me to talk about random things in life, you know? And I got into crochet and other hobbies, like my armpits are not gross, okay? I groom them. I don't like shaving because I get pimples and stuff, and I don't like that. Oh my god. Yeah, look at this guns. It looks really cool from this angle, doesn't it? I wrote a poem last night while I was kind of annoyed about the blackout situation and the random comments from the Prime Minister. Like, I was like, brother, shut up. People were not calm at all. Why are you lying? This is getting longer. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because only people who want to watch this stuff will watch it. Yeah, the point is that no, gender and pronouns are not my type of personality. I don't like being gendered because of the trauma associated with that, and being asked what are you and being told ugly 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 over and over as I was growing up, because I didn't fit any boxes and I didn't look like anything, and I was exotic. And like when they found out that I was intersex because of the traits that I had and stuff and the things that were happening, like the hair falling out, yeah, that's genetics. My aunt and mum also have that because of testosterone as well, or maybe in their case it's something else. But yeah, I got that gene still. Oh yeah, when you spend your life in between, you kind of get this aversion to gender. You know, I'm not anti-gender, like I said, like I get that one in my bio. I'm not fluid, I'm not non-binary. I like to think of myself as just a person. Like, since my humanity was stripped from me so often as I was growing up. Um, just claiming humanity is kind of a way to for me to find my identity. I'm gonna need to pause. Yeah, but cool. Uh, so yeah, reclaiming humanity and saying I'm just human. Please treat me as such is a way to cope with being dehumanized and stripped of anything and everything. Okay? I'm not going to elaborate on that. I already said that I have complex trauma. So, yeah, that's as far as I'm willing to go on that front. But please don't say that gender is my entire identity. Because it's not. It never was. I like music a lot. Music was my first act of rebellion, actually. Because the main cause of my trauma doesn't like music. But my mom does. And there were some classical music CDs in the house, which are now in one of those CD cases, like the ones with lots of pockets and stuff. I put them there because that makes them take up a lot less space and yeah, be easier to access if I feel like listening to them. And then after that, I was introduced to other types of music at my aunt's house with vinyl records. Because she has this room. It's a very strange room that was updated recently, but still has a very 80s flair to it. And she has records from the 80s. And among them, I found Billy Idol. That's how I found Billy Idol. Or yeah, that's how I found Billy Idol for the first time. With the Rebel Yell LP, the big vinyl. From that time, it was from that time. And they'd said that the turntable that was still there was not working because it was old and had not been used in a long time. But I was 14. This was in 2007. I'm old. Yeah, I know. And I was like, but can I try it? And they said, sure, go ahead. So I tried it. And basically what I had to do was find the jack to connect the speakers to the turntable. And it wasn't very hard to do that because, analog technology is very intuitive and it's just very easy to work with, and to me personally. Not sure about anyone else. Just talking for myself. I guess from someone who grew up poor. yes, I had analog technology and I still stand by it. I guess that's why I'm so reluctant to let go of it. And yeah, yesterday I was like, yay. I still have a Walkman's, like a cassette tape player and a CD player, like portable ones that I still use. And with the turntable, it was a similar thing. Like I just plugged the speakers after I plugged the turntable, obviously, and I realized that it was. I realized what I had to do. I just had to put the needle on the record. Like it doesn't do that automatically. It's one of the old turntables. I don't know if the modern ones do that, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure if there is any new technology to make turntables detect if it's an LP or a single. So yeah, to me now, looking back, it makes sense that it would be manually heard. You just have to grab the arm and just place it carefully on the record, and then at the end it would retrieve the arm automatically. And then I realized that there was sound coming out of that after I plugged the speakers, because I realized where is the sound going to come from. But I noticed that it was playing very quietly. I don't know exactly why that happens, but yeah, I'm not a specialist on that. But then I looked at the buttons, and there was one that said, I think, speakers or something, or output, something like that, something that indicated external, like that it would connect to the speakers. And I pressed it, and then boom, rebel yell. And I was just like, wow. Yeah, so that was my first experience with punk, like old school punk. And when Billy Idol released a new album with features with Joan Jett, who I also love, and even Avril Lavigne, who was from like my own time, I was like, yeah, rock on, King. So yeah, my experience with discovering music is very odd. You know, I would listen to those classical CDs on my PlayStation 1 with headphones, because my little TV had a jack, a thing for the earphone jack, and that's how I would listen to that kind of music, which was what we had in the house. And then my mom gave me some of her old CDs, which included Bruce Springsteen. There was also Iron Maiden and some other stuff, which is there somewhere, and I'm not going to go into that. So this is already getting to 1 hour. But yeah, basically, no. Gender is not my entire personality. I have a lot of interests. That was there because I have been subjected to some things, and I also like drawing. I drew this the other day. It doesn't look very good, but I'm working on my portrait skills because I want to draw my grandma at some point. that's someone I know. I was looking at Instagram. This is already 1 hour long. It's fine. I don't care. I really don't care. I haven't posted the tales yet. I'm sorry about that. I had one for today, but then I started rambling about this, and yeah, that didn't happen, did it? Where's my phone? Oh, right here. Since it's already 1 hour long, we should do some breathing exercises, and then I'll log off. I'm sorry this is so long, but yeah, I felt like I had to address that because yeah, it's not drama. It's just it's just something that I wanted to clear up because my videos are just vlogs, not edited stuff, like with a lot of stimuli and stuff. Yeah, let's do the 478. We're gonna do the box breathing. If you're listening to anything, you're not. Just ignore it, please. I have my ears blocked.
Relax and get comfortable. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. 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 Well done.
Well done. And if you listen to this point, thank you very much. I know I'm not interesting. I don't intend on being interesting. Sometimes I may be a bit whack and do some silly things, like the time I went to pick orange blossoms in the middle of the night. But other than that, I'm just whack because in real life I have an inside joke with my friends and I translated that to whack because it kind of feels the same. It has the good breathing. Like it has the same meaning. I will probably fix that pouch thing that I made and change the button to something else because that looks very Christmassy and I'm not sure if I like it. I mean I like it, but since it's meant to be a gift, I probably I will change it. I will get a button and or maybe do a button with black. But yeah, this has been very, very long. I'm sorry about the rambles and the pauses. I know that some people come here to chill and stuff and have that old YouTube feeling. I just felt like I had to address that. It's not drama. I've really just felt like I had to address it. Because I don't want to be that person whose identity is this, that, and the other. Like everything is part of our identity, and yeah, I wrote that when something had happened, so yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just existing, okay? That's all I'm doing. And I have hobbies and things that I like. I may even do a recommendation list of artists that I like. Maybe even make a playlist with songs that I like. Which will be very eclectic because I like a lot of music, since I think music is emotion based, and sometimes you might feel like listening to classical music, sometimes you might want to listen to punk music, sometimes you might want to listen to screamo. Yeah, for me it's like that. So yeah, I might do that eventually. But this is too long now for me to read the story that I had planned or had chosen to read, which is from the Ainu people. But I might do that on Thursday, because tomorrow I will not be here posting videos. I will be around, but I won't be posting videos. And this has been all. It's been absolutely way more than enough. If you listened until now, thank you. I really appreciate it. This is just rambling and talking to myself mostly. It got a bit today because of that, because I felt misunderstood. I felt like I made a mistake, and that I was misunderstood, and I wanted to clear that up. So yeah, thanks for the feedback. I appreciate everything. I really do. I will write this in the description because this is extremely long. Not even the comment channels go this far, and they're talking about other people's lives, and I'm just here randomly yapping about random things. Not even necessarily myself. But that's all. Now for real. But I'll be back. That's a threat. Bye.